Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about the brand new 2025 Jai Courtney film, Dangerous Animals, and this was created by Shudder. Really fascinating film. There are spoilers for 2025 Dangerous Animals in this content, so be aware of that. 5 out of 5 star movie. I absolutely love this film. This is a horror movie made by Shudder, and that really surprised me. I ended up signing up for Shudder a long time ago for some brief moment in time to get some movie, and I was very unimpressed. It seemed like a ton of cheap but not good horror, right? But that was absolutely not the case with Shudder or Dangerous Animals. This was a fantastic film. I don't think it was super expensive, but it didn't look cheap. And it was beautifully shot. There were like lots of, helicopter, shots of a boat. And Jai Courtney was in it. Hassie Harrison from Yellowstone. It was a very small cast, but it's extremely well done. This was a great movie done. It didn't look cheap at all, and honestly, it's the first thing I've ever seen from Shudder where I was like, whoa, that's impressive. But it was very good. So what I want to talk, so let's get into the movie a little bit. So let's squeeze this for the Dungeons & Dragons juice, right? So first of all, if you're a dungeon master of 18 and over, I highly recommend this. And the reason why this is a extremely well-crafted narrative, right? So that's a good reason for any dungeon master to see any film, right? To just see how a well-crafted narrative is constructed, right? And frankly, there aren't a ton of well-crafted narratives. Like they're kind of rare today. But this is a very well-crafted narrative. The other thing that dungeon masters can learn from this is how much story can get told with literally less than a half a dozen characters. There were less than 6. Actually, yeah, I think there was exactly 6 like active needed characters in the whole film. It's extremely well done, and so the reality is you can get a lot of narrative measure, a lot of narrative weight from an extremely small group of characters if they're well written, right? All right. So, oh yeah, so all that's there. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what kind of film this is. So this is a horror film, and that's the point of today's video. So horror is a really complicated subject for me. So I'm an evangelical Christian, so I have to be very careful about what horror movies I actually see. So as an evangelical Christian, I can't see too many. All right, so I really try to there has to be a good reason for me to see a film. A good reason for me to see a film is A24. They have a track record of just putting out absolutely solid bangers, and that's a good reason, right? Now I do break this rule every now and then. Beau Was Afraid, that looked like garbage, and I skipped it, and I'm glad I skipped it. It did not look good at all, and I did not hear good reviews. The other one is, the reason why I went to see this movie is I knew this was going to be a horror movie. The trailer spoiled a lot of this film, which is unfortunate, but highly understandable. I understand, how difficult it is to put out successful movies today, and it is becoming even more difficult. Streaming really ruined cinema, and the cinemas are fighting, and I think the studios are fighting now to close Pandora's box, right? And they're trying, but it was rough. It was really rough. So I think that's interesting. But what's, okay, let's get all the way there. So, so this is a horror movie. Now, why did I see this horror movie? That is a very good question. So the reason I saw this horror movie was sharks. I wanted to see sharks in action. I love to see sharks in action. So there's a long history of, a friend of mine calls them white girl shark movies, which is an attractive young white girl gets hassled by a shark for the whole film, and then is or is not eaten by the end, right? Like, so probably the most iconic white girl shark movie ever is The Shallows. That absolutely, and I have to say, I have seen my friend. I was like, what? Like when they said it, and then I was like, wait, that does accurately describe a lot of shark movies. And so I have seen a ton of shark movies, and I see pretty much any shark movie that comes to the big screen, and this really delivered. So that's why I ended up going to see a horror movie, right? But this is interesting. I recently went to see Bring Her Back. That movie was absolutely terrifying, and one of the reasons why I went to see that is I'm also fascinated by films that explain the occult, right? And so here's where we get to the D&D part. Why do I go to horror movies? I go to see a powerful narrative. I do not enjoy horror movies. In fact, I have never watched an entire horror movie where I did not cover my eyes at least 5 to 10 times, right? In this one, I think I only had to cover my eyes 3 times. There's a scene where the girl literally bites her own thumb off to escape handcuffs. It was horrific. I can't watch that stuff. I just can't, right? And this is where we get, okay? So why did I go see this? I want to see sharks in action. I genuinely want to see how, I think they're fascinating, and I want to see what they do and how they do it. And that makes me wonder, why did God put these incredible predators on the earth, right? And so I just have a fascination with them, right? But I'm not going because in fact, I don't enjoy horror movies. So why am I going? Learn about the occult, learn about humanity, experience a powerful narrative, and learn about one element within the film, right? In this one, it was sharks, right? And I think those are good reasons to go to the movies. All right, here's the kicker. I went to see Bring Her Back. That movie was absolutely terrifying. And it highly reinforced, I'd say, about 10 things that I know about the occult, that this movie definitely was like check, right? And so, and I watched The Nun, right? Like the person who watched The Nun knows absolutely nothing about religion and absolutely nothing about the occult. The person who wrote, the two people who directed and wrote Bring Her Back know a crap ton about religion and a crap ton about the occult. They are credible sources on that topic, right? Whereas like the people who wrote The Nun aren't credible sources on anything, right? Like I don't even nothing, literally nothing, right? So this is what gets interesting, okay? So you have these people who are going to the films, and this is what is even scarier than the movie Bring Her Back, and far scarier than Shudder's Dangerous Animals. And that is, there are people who go to enjoy horror movies. That is wrong. And I really, and I think that's wrong. Like, if you went to enjoy Bring Her Back, you are messed up. I think you are chopped. You are just chopped. Like, that is not good, right? And I really feel it signals a deficiency in someone. That deficiency can be inverted, right? I'm not saying these people are broken forever, but I am saying they are broken now, right? It is deeply disturbing that anyone would go to see Bring Her Back for enjoyment. So now, thank you for walking along the road with me. Now we reach the destination. Why do we play Dungeons and Dragons? We play Dungeons and Dragons to fix ourselves and fix the world. It's not for fun. It was never for fun. Gary Gygax did not create a game. He created a human improvement engine and released it to the world on February 7th, 1974. Okay? That is my incredibly unique opinion, right? And I really feel it's reinforced every single day. And I think other people are starting to see it as well, right? Which I think is really fascinating, right? But get this. I'm going to say it. If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons for fun, you're chopped. It's wrong. It's not good. It's not a good look. I think you're broken. And so let's get into it. There's too much death, right? There are, one of them, a canon recent adventure, right, is Uni, right? If you fail to save Uni, a unicorn dies, right? Like, that's the death of a magical creature. Who's going into this to enjoy it, right? And then in addition to that, there's the death of non-player characters, the deaths of monsters, there's deaths of magical creatures, and there's the death of player characters. If you think any and all of that is fun, you're chopped. Period. You're chopped. It's not right, right? So this is my point. One, all those people, and this blew me away. There were a lot. Okay, I went to see Bring Her Back, right? I would say 50% of the audience at the end of that movie was shook, just like getting out of their seats, collecting their stuff, and going, I'm not gonna, and you could see it on their faces, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. There were like 3 guys that started laughing at the end of the film and laughed during the film, right? And they were like, oh, I like that part where that girl, drowned in the pool, ha ha ha. And I'm like, whoa, man, this is bad, right? No one should have enjoyed this movie. That is the wrong reason to go to a horror film. It's just not correct. It's inappropriate and wrong, right? And I think it's the same with D&D. I think there's just too much death in D&D to think that playing D&D for fun is an appropriate response, or even appropriate goal, or even an appropriate activity, right? It's not correct. And if you're doing it, you're chopped. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.